Babylon, the greatest city of ancient Iraq, and the heart of vast empire, site of two wonders of the world, sacred capital and power base of the great king Nebuchadnezzar. Famed for its hanging gardens, defended by the formidable walls, and dominated by the ziggurat we know as the Tower of Babel. Babylon's splendid architecture and a great treasure live on in art and culture. But legend and myth tell a different tale of the fall of Babylon's soul of the top of the Babylonian temple to the earth. King Nebuchadnezzar descended to madness. Babylon became known as the city of sin, its downfall symbolized by the biblical her of Babylon, sitting astride a seven-headed beast.
Nebuchadnezzar was a king of Babylon, during whose long and eventful region the new Babylon Empire attained its peak, and the city of Babylon its greatest glory. He was the son of Nebuchadnezzar, a Chaldean chief, who in 626 BC led a revolt against Assyrian rule, proclaimed himself as a king of Babylon, and alliance with the Medes and its Kittites, succeeded in overthrowing the vast Assyrian Empire and destroying Nineveh. In 626 BC, Nebuchadnezzar, as a crown prince, was given command of the Babylonian army, hiring the remainder of the Assyrian and another Syrian. Early in 605, he met Necho, the king of Egypt. Battle defeated him at Carchemish. A few months later, Nebuchadnezzar died, and Nebuchadnezzar was sent home to climb his throne. He soon returned to the west in order to secure the loyalty of Syria and Palestine, and to conclude among those who submitted were rules of Damascus and Tyre, Syria and Judah. Nebuchadnezzar was a king of Babylon, during whose long and eventful region the new Babylon Empire attained its peak, and the city of Babylon its greatest glory. He was the son of Nebuchadnezzar, a Chaldean chief, who in 626 BC led a revolt against Assyrian rule, proclaimed himself as a king of Babylon in alliance with the Medes and its Kittites, succeeded in overthrowing the vast Assyrian Empire and destroying Nineveh. In 626 BC, Nebuchadnezzar, as a crown prince, was given command of the Babylonian army, hiring the remainder of the Assyrian and another Syrian. Early in 605, he met Necho, the king of Egypt. Battle defeated him at Carchemish. A few months later, Nebuchadnezzar died, and Nebuchadnezzar was sent home to climb his throne. He soon returned to the west in order to secure the loyalty of Syria and Palestine, and to conclude among those who submitted were rules of Damascus and Tyre, Syria and Judah.
Nebuchadnezzar. He was the mighty king of Babylon Empire in 604 and 562 BC. Numerous confirmed tablets and ancient texts speak of his wonders, achievements, and prideful character. He said in one of his towers, "Look at this, Babylon the Great, and I will build it all by myself. A royal palace adequate to display my honor and glory." Nebuchadnezzar trusted in his army's 12 and powerful warriors. He had no room for God in his kingdom. However, late in this region, Nebuchadnezzar had a philosophical wake-up call. Overnight, he went from a mighty king to a wandering madman, as he was striking with a psychomania which caused him to flood like an animal. He grew long hair and nails, roaming about the countryside, grazing long grass. 7 years into his malady, Nebuchadnezzar returned to his senses. Immediately, he knew his lifelong mistakes. A once godless ruler was now a God-fearing man. In fact, his own philosophical journey was recorded in the ancient texts of the prophet Daniel, who was living in the Captain Babylon.
I, Nebuchadnezzar, looked heaven. I was given my mind back, and I blessed to the high God, thinking and glorifying God to live forever. At the same time I was giving back my mind, I was also giving back my majesty and splendor, making my kingdom shine. All leaders and important people came looking for me. I was established as a king in my kingdom, became as strong than ever.
Nebuchadnezzar is most widely known through his portrayal in the Bible, especially the book of Daniel. This book discussed several events of his reign in addition to his conquest of Jerusalem. In the second year of his reign, eventually continued from his conquest of the Jews. Nebuchadnezzar dreams of a huge image made of his various materials, gold, silver, and bronze, and iron, and other materials. The prophet Daniel tells him God's interpretation that it stands for the rise and fall of world powers.
Nebuchadnezzar was a proud man. Nebuchadnezzar was the leader of the great empire. He was the head of gold, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, who would dare to not applaud or join in long-standing ovation for the great Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon. Yes, Nebuchadnezzar was a very proud, tyrannical leader who knew in his own heart and mind just how great and wonderful a man he really was. The problem that King Nebuchadnezzar had was that he had forgotten just where his great power had become from. God had given him his power. God had enabled him to do his great work. God had protected him from being killed in battle. God was the one to be praised, not Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar forgot these facts because he was jealous and a proud man. God says that pride is sin. Pride is in fact a very great sin before God. Pride was the sin of Satan when Satan said, "Thou would become like the Most High and take over heaven." Pride, however, cometh before a fall. The fall of Nebuchadnezzar was prophesied by Daniel. Daniel told King Nebuchadnezzar that because of his pride, God would send him out into the fields for 7 years to eat grass like an animal, until he learned not to be proud. This actually happened to Nebuchadnezzar. He went crazy and was forced to eat grass like an animal. After 7 years passed, his sanity was restored, and he was much more humble than before. He realized that God was the source of his great strength, and therefore he glorified God and not himself.
You guys feel it? My name is Ayatollah.
Long and evil of region, the name Babylon.